Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to MXGPTV.com. My name is Paul Malin. Thanks for joining us for the broadcast this afternoon and, of course, throughout the weekend. It's 14 degrees here at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Round 3 of the European 250 Championship about to get underway for the second time. Race 1 yesterday was won by Stefan Rivini from France. And it was a French 1-2-3 because Jimmy Clochet and Thibaut Beneston ran it out, those 3 positions. 1,620 meters long, the racetrack here. It's had some preparation overnight, a little bit of water as well. And the cloud that was here this morning is just about being burnt away now. The sun burning through, and the fans are starting to fill this place, and it'll be a fantastic atmosphere, certainly if any one of those 3 French riders, or any other French riders for that matter, make their way to the front. And if there's a winner, a homegrown winner on the top step of the podium here, then you know what, it'll be the second time today that would have heard their national anthem. Alberto Ferrata goes to the line first, head of Horgmo, Fernandez, Rubini, Tropepi, Clochet, Beneston, and René Hoffer. And then Rowan van der Moosdijk, Carlos Sabalis, Isaac Gifting, Nick Lapucci, Josh Gilbert, or Gilbert, as they say here, Rick Elzinga, Andrea Adamo, and Cyril Genot of Belgium. Scored his first points yesterday. 17th in race 1. Bastien Baudin, Gianluca Facchetti, Jan Kudranski. He actually surprised a few people yesterday. Got out the start real early, led briefly before the 118. This guy here from Honda Red Motor Asamotor, Stefan Rivini, found his way through. And he was quickly followed through as well by the 520 from Bud Racing Kawasaki of Jimmy Clochet. Championship leader Alberto Ferrata from Medi Racing Husqvarna. Didn't make a great start, and I was talking to his team boss actually, Corrado Maddy. He said he's just given away too many kilos down the start straight here because it's heavy, it's long as well. And he battled to 11th at the end of the first lap. Thibaut Beneston came home on in 3rd on his MJC Yamaha. But back to Ferrato, once he got into the groove, he got himself up into 3rd, and then he lost his seat because he cross-rutted a few ruts behind the pit lane area, the downhill behind pit lane, and I don't know, just broke the brackets off, but he is a big lad, isn't he? Anyway, there was Jimmy Clochet. Here is Ruben Fernandez, the SDM Corsa Yamaha rider, and wow, what an eventful race he had yesterday. Not sure what that bit of tape is there, but maybe some kind of trend going on. The Spaniard. Giuseppe Tropepi, the Guidinelli Racing Yamaha rider, didn't score in the first race yesterday. Sits 8th in the championship, or he sat 8th in the championship, but quite a few non-scorers actually amongst the top runners. Pierre Goupillon not here. Kevin Horgmo and Giuseppe Tropepi, they didn't score. They were 7th and 8th in the championship before race 1. Michael Ivanov also didn't score, nor too did Tim Edberg, Raf Björsen, Yuri Quarti. Looks like we're almost in position though, but race 1 was won by Stefan Rivini. Jimmy Clochet was 2nd, Beneston 3rd, Ferrato 4th, Gilbert was 5th, Rick Elzinga was 6th, then it was Carlos Sabalis, Andrea Adamo, Kevin Cristino scoring his first points as well, and Jan Kudranski, Sameo Ubak, Roman and Moosdijk was 12th. He and Fernandez took each other out whilst running for 3rd and 4th. Caleb Grothus was 13, Rimo Dank was 14, Isaac Gifting was 15, then it was René Hoffer, Cyril Genot, Nick Lapucci, Ruben Fernandez, and Mahi Villanueva. The fly race at 15-second board is up for the second time of the weekend for EMX250. And we're about to go racing, 25 minutes plus 2 laps. Beneston, and somebody tried to go too early and just wheel it into the gate. But it's Lapucci to 11th. Beneston right behind him in 2nd. It looks like Van der Moosdijk is in 3rd place at the top of the hill. Going into 3rd, yes it is. Tropepi just behind him. Charging downhill for the first time then. There's Fernandez in there as well in 70. And was that Grothus in the black? No, that's Fernandez just there coming towards us, but it's Lapucci who leads away. Rowan van der Moosdijk has got himself into 2nd. Beneston 3rd. Tropepi 4th. Fernandez, Glenn Meyer, Isaac Gifting, Matteo Puccinelli. Good start him. Dankers is 9. Yuri Quarti is 10. Andrea Adamo just behind Timur Petroshin. Then we have Paolo Lagana, Tim Edberg, Carlos Sabalis as Rowan van der Moosdijk on the hunt for a win here. Jimmy Clochet 16, Josh Gilbert 17, Rick Elzinger, Alberto Ferrata, and Rennie Hoffer. Rivini out of the points, your winner from race 1. I wonder if it was it was Rubini when I think he hit the gate, actually, Rubini. Caleb Grothy is 22nd. Ubak is down there as well, but wow, here's the start. Yeah, Rubini. Did he just go too early? Was he just too close? Either way, he's got a bit of work to do. But Nick Lapucci, he leads the way. 15th in the championship before we came here. He was 11th overall in Trentino. Scored 18th in race 1 yesterday. Back down the start straight. Kind of sense that Ruben van der Moosdijk would be itching to get a race win here. Best he's had so far this year was a 3rd in race 2. That was at Matsley Base and Ruben van der Moosdijk for this season, holding a nice tight line. He was a fantastic 6th overall in MX2 a week ago in Portugal, riding there as a wild card. So this kid arrives here, we said this yesterday, with a bag full of confidence. And we know that that F&H Kawasaki is a very quick motorcycle as well. But Nick Lapucci, 211. Well, a little bit of shenanigans going on there as Alberto Ferrata goes through on Timur Petroshin, gets himself up into 10th place. And going after 517, Isaac Gifton in that number 10 just ahead of him on the Hutton Metals Yamaha. Rivo Dankers. Ferrata just clobbers a tough block, says I'm coming through. Most riders would have just launched off of that, but he just knocked it out of its way. It was like, yeah, tough block, you're not messing with me. I mean, look at the size of him. He is like the proverbial house, isn't he? Made of bricks. It's Paolo Lagana just charging in there as well, number 50. He was running up front early on yesterday. Then eventually he just faded and didn't finish in the end, but doubling into, you know what, they've launched that up, haven't they, that double into the corner. It was a little bit lower yesterday. But Lapucci still leads. So the 211 leading the way. And the Steele's Dr. Jack KTM. Just behind them, Thibaut Beneston. Beneston would win the overall if he stays where he is. Van der Moosdijk, even if he wins this one and passes Lapucci, he will only pick up 3 more points. That'll put him on 34. Beneston, 3rd in race 1 yesterday, currently 3rd in race 2. That would be 2 lots of 20, 40 points for the MJC Yamaha rider. How cool would it be for him to win here this weekend as well? Where is Jimmy Clochet? He was 2nd yesterday in race 1 as Van der Moosdijk looking, well, still looking interested on lap 3. Give me the rundown now. Lapucci leads, Van der Moosdijk 2nd. That's these two here. Beneston on the blue machine behind him in 3rd. Tropepi is 4th. Maya is 5th. Fernandez 6th. Yuri Quarti 7th. Dankers 8th. Ferrata 9th. Isaac Gifting is 10th. Lugana 11th. Fernandez has just passed Glenn Maya and Gianluca Facchetti. Is that on the final downhill towards the penultimate corner? Might be, you know, just the other side of the first turn. Lapucci made a mistake there. He sensed it. He took a nervous look over his shoulder, wondered where the 39 of Van der Moosdijk was. He's holding his wrist. So Facchetti down, and I do believe that would be on the run down to turn 4. Beneston isn't going away, you know. He was 1.9 off the lead. He set the fastest lap last time around, only by a 10th of a second, because Moosdijk was only a 10th quicker than him, and the Dutchman almost into the rear wheel of the Italian. Good to see Lapucci back again, though. He was Yamaha mounted last year. Picked up a win in Russia round 3, but then picked up an injury. So it was 1.9 separating last time. It's just over 2 seconds now. Benetton in that 3rd place. There's Ferrata just behind Yuri Quarti, number 37. So these two now fighting over 7th place. The Matty Racing Husqvarna rider in the red top. Going to muscle his way up the inside, isn't he? He's not taking no for an answer. Almost like a big schoolboy bully, you know, just muscles his way in. Like, yeah, honey badger, I don't care. Yuri Quarti, though, in the fluorescent colours. It's ahead of Glenn Mayer. So the 192. Up onto the plateau here. No challenge coming here because both guys will go to the outside. Benetton continues to jump into the waves, and Ferrata better on the brakes at the bottom of the hill. Railed around the outside, caught Quarti napping. The outside line is working a treat at the moment. Yeah, it's a long way round, but look how quickly you arrive at the corner when you're from the inside. A lot straighter running into that right-hander. Just running out of room there, the 39. Benetton being urged on by the French fans here. There are tens of thousands of them out on that one bank, and then as you get around further around the corner, there are a few thousand more. Yeah, that's the downhill where Paquetti crashed. See the guy still trying to bandage him up over there. It's high speed down there as well. You come down, you drop to the inside, and then you're dropping away at speed. You land hard. If you just lose the front, you're going down hard. There's Ruben Fernandez, and then just behind him, these two here, Glenn Mayer and Alberto Ferrata. So Ferrata going after the 192 of Mayer from Denmark, and I think he's going to muscle his way up the inside here. He does. Goes straight back on the attack. There was Tropepi getting into trouble at the top of the hill in 4th on the opposite loop there. And Roman Mosdijk. He was in this situation yesterday when he was battling with the number 70 of Ruben Fernandez on the SDM Corsi Yamaha. And got a little bit impatient, saw a gap that was kind of there, but then maybe got closed down a little bit. Both those guys that were challenging for, they just passed Lagana actually. And then all of a sudden they took each other out of the race, 4th and 5th, 5th and 6th, sorry. So again, Van der Moosdijk is closer than he was a lap ago, but look, he takes a shorter route through. And then again has to avoid the rear wheel of Lapucci. The Steele's Dr. Jack KTM rider, 2:11, hanging on. He's led for the first 4 laps. We're coming towards the end of lap 5 now. We're at Saint-Jean-d'Angely, EMX250 Race 2, round 3 of the championship. Oh, we've got, okay, there was wave flags at the top there, so none of the guys getting out of turn 1 and able to double their way in, so we've had a man down. Up into the final corner. And over the line for the 5th time. It's still Lapucci who leads by half a second over Van der Moosdijk. 2.5 seconds off the lead is Benetton, so 2 seconds behind these guys in 3rd for Yamaha MJC. That's going to be good enough at the moment for the overall, but starting to stake his claim on the top step of the podium is Stefan Rivini, your winner from race 1 yesterday. Honda red motor, Asa motor, a mistake there from RVD. Ruben Van der Moosdijk. It's just the throttle control needed to get up and over that first crest on the inside there. Where is Rubini now? He's into 10th place, just behind Yuri Quarti. He needs 5 more riders if he is to take the overall, which means Quarti gifting Mayer Ferrata. He needs to get it to around 5th place. But it also depends on what Thibaut Beniston does, because all of a sudden he's just thrown out the hook and just reeled himself in onto the rear wheel of the Kawasaki ahead of him here, number 39, and he's gone, you know what, it's party time. Doesn't want to disappoint that huge crowd over on the opposite bank there here at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Beniston getting his head down. There is Rivini. Messed up on the start. Not sure if it was just the gate dropped slowly, but may have just been too close. Just a little bit too anxious to pull the trigger and get gone. Just watch it here again, Rivini. Gate drops. Yeah, he was just too close. Just too close. Going after Isaac Gifting here. He's dealt with Yuri Quarti down the bottom, so he is picking him off, but he needs to grab a few more positions. He's still got plenty of time. He's got 12.5 minutes plus 2 to go. The Honda Red Motor Asamoto needs to get up to this point here. Ruben Fernandez and Alberto Ferrata, 5th and 6th in the race. Minutes plus 2 to go. EMX250 Race 2. Ruben Fernandez, SDM Corsa Yamaha, number 70, lead rider in shot, doing his best to fend off the advances at the 303 of Alberto Ferrata, who is just going full whiskey throttle, getting out of the turns. He knows he's got to close down. The guys ahead of him in the back end getting a little bit loose, a little bit loose actually, on the number 70 of Ruben Fernandez. He goes through that right-hander. The slick rocky surface really now starting to shine through. Watch this, back end, catches an edge here. Whoa. Kept it pinned though, but Ferrata is going nowhere. Still the championship leader. Whoa. He lost his seat yesterday. Looks like he's trying to climb on the back of Fernandez's seat. But the speed he carries down the hill through here, maintaining that momentum, and again he goes through. All about corner speed and momentum. Didn't want to get caught behind Fernandez, didn't want to follow him, and Ferrata just breezes past the Spaniard and up into 5th place on lap 7. Three-way battle for the lead. All of a sudden, these guys were 2 seconds apart as they hit the line, but Lapucci is just starting to fade here, and the Mostike has been caught behind him, and that's allowed Beniston just to get right onto the rear wheel here. Oh, it's going to be close for the podium, isn't it? Rubini, 2 points off of taking the overall here, because Rubini is now up into 8th place. He's about 4 seconds behind Glenn Mayer. Glenn Mayer was about a second slower, 2.5 maybe. Well, probably not even that much actually, about a half a second quicker Rubini that time around, but now he's got a bit of clear track. If Stefan Rivini can pull this off, it'll be an absolute blinding result for the Frenchman, but it all depends on what happens here between these three and the guys directly ahead. There is Glenn Mayer. So Rivini is absolutely hanging it, throwing everything into this race, despite that mistake at the start of the race, and despite being patched up. He arrived here with a battered ankle. He had a big crash on the downhill where Facchetti went out early on in the race. Battered and bruised. Just keeping an eye on the pit board. Beniston finds his way past the Kawasaki in the middle here. All of a sudden, he'd steal another 2 points back. But the Frenchman, number 98 on the MJC Yamaha, looks to have lost a little ground. And that gap, actually, 2.5 seconds to Lapucci here, your race leader now, for Beniston to try and make up. So Lapucci leading by less than a second, Van der Moosdijk and Beneston right back in it. So all of a sudden, 2.5 seconds, and he's right back onto the rear wheel of these guys. So he's obviously doing something very good in the first sector and something very not so good in the final sector for these guys to get away from him. Follows up onto that inside as a dab. As he gets over the crest, jumping short to make the inside line. Giuseppe Trupepi is 7 seconds further back in 4th place. So the 223, the Italian on the Guidinelli Racing Yamaha, having a fantastic ride. How close. Beneston looks to go around the outside. Well, again, Van der Moosdijk has been rehearsing that on a number of occasions. This time he timed it absolutely perfectly, and he might make the pass. No, but Lapucci sees it coming, close the door. Easy pickings here at the top of the hill for Van der Moosdijk, surely. He was going to cut to the inside, but Lapucci read that well, so Van der Moosdijk had to go to the outside, and he just got closed down at the top of the hill. Will he get the momentum around here like Ferrata did a moment ago? He makes a bobble. Beneston now back in the hunt. He favours that outside line, doesn't he, the French kid? Beneston and the top 3 now separated by 1.5 seconds. So Beneston bridging that gap to the tune of about a second. And this is where it's quick around this part of the racetrack. And again, look, the corner speed that he has at the top of the hill here. Oh, nice line through the bottom. Going around the outside of Van der Moosdijk. Looking again just to capitalise on a mistake. He'll go to the outside here, will he? No. He senses that he can win there. Any one of these 3 can win it. They are absolutely locked together. Trupepi is 4, Ferrata 5, Fernandez 6, Rubini now 7. Here's how we pass Glenn Meyer. Nicely done. Whoa, that's going to put him on 39 points. Beneston still leading the overall on 40. But again, he loses a little bit of time over on this part of the racetrack. So Van der Moosdijk, second on the number 39 Kawasaki. He has rehearsed this a handful of times now. If he's the right distance behind, now he's too far. Too far. He needed to be another couple of bike lengths closer in order to be able to execute that pass. Look how far back Beneston is now in 3rd. He's not even in kissing distance of these 2. But he's quick at the top of the hill. He's quick on the descent as well. By the time we cross the finish line and up the next turn in towards turn 7, the 180 at the top of the hill, he's right back in it. So Rubini now up into 7th place. Podium fight is down to 1 point. He needs to pass 2 more riders, does Rubini. We'll see where he is. There's Jimmy Clochet. He's in 10th. He was 2nd in race 1 yesterday for Bud Racing Kawasaki. Isaac Gifting just ahead of him, just there in orange. Rubini set the fastest first sector, so he's definitely still pushing. He is 5 seconds down on Fernandez. Fernandez was a 57.4. Rubini a 56.4. The next 4 laps is going to be all over him unless Fernandez decides to fall asleep. Jimmy Clochet, Alberto Ferrata, yesterday 4th in race 1, will be on the podium in 3rd on 34 points. But that also depends on what the dude on the Kawasaki does here in green, because he's on 33 points. He finds his way past Isaac Gifting here. That gives him another point, but he will tie with Ferrata, because Ferrata is in 5th position in the race. Clochet will only get 9th unless he can find his way past Glenn Meyer or Stefan Rivini, but Rivini is definitely pulled the rabbit out of the hat and he's going for broke. Clochet gonna go, had no room there. Gifting just squeezed him to the left. Good performance this from Isaac Gifting, though. Not a rider we usually see up in at the sharp end, even in his 125 days, but definitely bringing his... Oh, and he just throws away the front end. It is very hard and slick and loose and marbly. Commentators curse, call it what you want. Lapse in concentration, but Clochet into 9th then. Yeah. Easy mistake to make. Always pushing the boundaries of adhesion. Lapucci still 1.1 seconds clear of Van der Moosdijk. Beniston now has faded. He's 3 seconds off the lead. 2 behind the Kawasaki of Van der Moosdijk. Ferrata has got Trepepi right in his line of sight here. The Giordinelli Racing Yamaha and the Madi Racing Husqvarna. These two are going to be fighting for 4th place. And these two fighting back for the lead. So 1.1 down to nothing. Beniston at the top of the hill. Lapucci looks right. And the Moosdijk up on the left. Will he double in this time around? Yes, he does. Doesn't want to get caught. Oh, he's a little bit out of shape there. Working overtime. Is he going to finally make the move? Not in out of this left. No, he follows. Going for the speed, getting himself locked onto the rear wheel. Here's Ferrata. This is before. Trepepi, nervous look over his shoulder. Beniston being urged on by the French fans at the end of the start straight, just ahead of these guys. Trepepi looks to his right. Ferrata is right there. Cuts to the inside. He'll go around the outside, or Trepepi will... Yeah, he got spooked, didn't he? He thought about protecting, and then he just went too defensive. And Ferrata was right there. That was for 4th place. This is for the lead. Down towards the Monster Energy finish line. 12 laps done. 1 minute, so 3 laps to go. Where's Ferrata in relation? He's about 6 seconds off the T-boat. And you can see him just around the corner. So with 3 laps to go, if Ferrata now, with clear track, can get onto the rear wheel of Beniston and make the pass on the Frenchman, it will be Rivini who is your overall winner. But Beniston is right back in it as well. Again, Lapucci makes a mistake, and this time Van der Moosdijk goes around the outside, but he's going to have to be brave if he goes around the outside here. Oh, he is brave. But look, he gets squeezed to the outside on the exit of the turn at the top of the hill. Playing into the hands of Beniston, maybe. Just here in 3rd. Again, not out of it yet. The number 98 on that Yamaha. Here's Ferrata. Oh, I think Van der Moosdijk might be up front here. He'll close the door at the end of the straight. But again, Lapucci going after the win. He does not want to be denied. And nor does Ruben Van der Moosdijk. Back down onto the start straight. KTM steals Dr. Jack, the 211, versus the F&H Kawasaki. Are we going to see it cut back to the inside here, or is he going to be brave around the outside, chase the dirt, a la Speedway style? Fantastic race, this, in EMX250. The noise from the crowd down the bottom end of the circuit into the penultimate corner. The 2-lap board getting ready to go out. Beniston can still win this. Absolutely nothing in it between these guys. When Lapucci won in Russia, he didn't actually take a race win. He got a 3rd and a 2nd that day. So this will be his first EMX250 Race win, and all of a sudden, 3 into 1 at the top of the hill, just about went, but is the ascendancy here with the 98 on the Yamaha. He goes to the inside, he shows Ruben Fernandez a wheel. Cuts to the outside, goes for the smoother line around the outside line, but again, Ruben Fernandez looking to get in the rear pocket. He passes Lapucci for the lead. It won't affect Ruben Fernandez's position or fight for the podium, but if Beniston can get past the Italian, that will just give him another bit of breathing space over Rivini, who is 7 seconds down on Tropepi. So it doesn't look like Rivini is going to make that move on the Italian, but Beniston could just give himself that little bit of breathing space here. Rasmussen just down the outside. He's a lap down, the number 81. Nothing in it. Beniston, Rivini tied on points at the top of the standings, but Beniston will get it because of where he is in the race at the moment. He is in 3rd, Rivini is in 6th. We said this guy needed to get to 5th, but at the moment that's Tropepi. He is closing it down. It won't be 7 seconds and he hits the line this time around. There's the Mali Racing Husqvarna rider, number 81, Rasmussen. He's a lap down. Beniston has been caught. It is not over yet. We are into the final lap. Alberto Ferrata is just 3 seconds off the lead. He is set a 1:54.9. The others are a 58 for Beniston, 59 Lapucci, 57 Van der Moosdijk. All of a sudden, this is going to decide the outcome of this European round here. Beniston cannot afford to be passed by Alberto Ferrata. If he does, he'll be getting a bit of a bonus from Rivini, who will take the overall win. Van der Moosdijk, he's just got his head down. He's staying out of trouble. Beniston, he cannot afford to lose a position here to Ferrata. Ah! He's closing the door down on the big burly Italian. He's got to go to the outside here. He has to find a way past Lapucci just to be safe. Does the number 98 Yamaha rider, middle rider in shot here. He's in 3rd and he's on the verge of taking the overall win here, but Ferrata is going to run out the inside! And that is the overall decided right there. Ferrata gets into 3rd, pushes Beniston down to 4th, and that's going to knock him off the top step of the podium here. So we are going to see a Frenchman on the top step of the box, but it's going to be Rivini, who was in 6th position, and Ferrata, look, he is not hanging around. He still believes he can get 2nd here, the championship leader. What a performance from the 303. Is he going to run to the flag here for 2nd? Van der Moosdijk takes his first win of the season. Lapucci gets 2nd, Ferrata 3rd, and Beniston takes 4th, and that is him off the podium. Well, he will, yeah, he's on 3rd. Ferrata gets 2nd. They tie on points, so 1st to 3rd in the blink of an eye for Thibaut Beniston. Rivini shakes his head, but he's the overall winner. He is the overall winner. He doesn't know it, the 118. Wow. Rivini takes the overall on the final lap because Ferrata passed Beniston to get himself into 2nd and push the Frenchman Beniston down to 3rd. Stefan Rivini has no idea. Rivini is on the top step. He has had to work his absolute Saint-Jean dongly bits off. Wow, what a turnaround. He probably still doesn't know. He probably thinks, yeah, you're on the podium. You watch. When he grabs a word with Miss Leyland, don't worry about those goggles. That's why you have sponsors, Steph. He's going to be pulled in for a quick word with Lisa, and all of a sudden he's going to go from, what, shaking his head to, I won? Wow, what a dramatic end. Rubini, 118, is your overall winner. He can't believe it. Simona right in there, look, the team coordinator. We will grab a word with our overall winner, Stefan Rivini.
Stefan Rivini, what a dramatic end to that race. You're the overall winner on home soil, but you didn't realise.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed about my second race. I did a really bad start, so I tried to push, but with my ankle, you know, I was a little bit not enough focus, so I make many mistakes. So I tried to push until the end, but I'm a little bit disappointed, but I win the GP, so it's already good.
Good job, thank you.
On the red motor, Asamoto on the top step of the podium. For the first time in 2019, and it's all because of Stefan Rivini. Matej Borome's last win was in Bulgaria last year when he took the title at round 10 for that same team. So, long overdue? I don't know, but Rivini wasn't happy with his riding. He's in a lot of pain, but the important thing is he wins the round here, round 3. And he does so in dramatic fashion as well. Roman Mostite, though, takes the win from Nick Lapucci, Alberto Ferrata, Thibaut Beneston, Giuseppe Tropepi, Stefan Rivini 6, Ruben Fernandez 7, Jimmy Clochet 8, Glenn Meyer 9, and Isaac Gifting 10. Carlos Sabalis, Josh Gilbert, Rick Elzinger, Yuri Quarti, Kevin Horgmo, Paolo Lugano, Rennie Hoffer, Simeo Ubak, Kevin Cristino, and Leon Florian. Rubini wins the overall with a win and a 6th. A 4th and a 3rd for Ferrato. And Beneston, a 3-4. What a race we had here at Saint-Jean. Ferrato continues to lead the championship. 18 points clear now of Rubini. It was 20 at the start of the weekend, so the Frenchman already handicapped because of the ankle injury that he had, the crash that he had yesterday in free practice. Didn't stop him from winning race 1, though, but just as our camera cut away from that interview after the race with our round winner, you just heard him say to Simona that, yeah, a lot of pain, and you can see the disappointment in his face, but the good news is he has one free weekend to get over that, because we'll see these guys again round 4 in Russia in 2 weeks' time at Orléans. Let's do the podium, though, shall we? On the podium, but it could have been so much different. He could have been climbing the top step of the podium. Thibaut Beneston for Yamaha Europe, the EMX250 MJC. 3rd overall this weekend, though, but it's his first podium visit of the season, and his first in 250. Alberto Ferrata, the gentle giant from Maddy Racing, Husqvarna. He's on the 2nd step of the podium, but the Team Maddy Racing Husqvarna rider was just eclipsed to the top step by the 118 Honda Red Motor Asamoto rider Stefan Rivini, and Alfredo Bevilacqua, the team owner, will stand proudly on the top step. The Italian team winning with the Frenchman. Micheline Berthelot, the mayor of Mazoret, on hand to deliver the 3rd place trophy to Thibaut Beneston. Always great to have the support of the local dignitaries. Alberto Ferrato takes his 2nd place trophy from Francoise. I think that was Menard, just on the screen for about a second. Apologies. But our winner, Stefan Rivini, Honda Red Motor Asamoto. Jean-Philippe Ardouin, member of Charente-Maritime, on hand to deliver him the spoils of victory here this weekend. But the red plate belongs to Alberto Ferrata. The team trophy goes to Alfredo Bevilacqua. Eddie Hurd, though, will hand another red plate to Alberto Ferrata. He still leads after 3 rounds. He'll have the red plate on the front of his Maddie Racing Husqvarna when we go to Russia in 2 weeks' time. There's your podium. And for the second time today, the French national anthem. This time, though, for Stefan Rivini. Your top 3 here this weekend: Stefan Rivini, Alberto Ferrata, and Thibaut Beneston. We will talk to the top 3 in a few moments' time, just the other side of the best moments.
Avec Benoît, bien évidemment, un programme qui ne fait que débuter, mais la soirée ne pouvait pas, et la journée ne pouvait pas mieux commencer. Ouais, effectivement, puisqu'on va se retrouver maintenant dans 1 heure.
Stefan Rivini, congratulations. This is your first European win since Italy 2016. I know you seem disappointed, but you've been riding injured all weekend, so you should be pretty pleased with getting an overall in front of your home fans.
Oh, yeah, it's just amazing to win here in France. So win the home GP, my first win in European Championship 250, just really happy, and I will continue working really hard to get some other win.
Congratulations, thank you. Second overall today we have Alberto Ferrata. Alberto playing catch-up pretty much all weekend. 2 bad starts, no seat yesterday, but a hard charge in that second race. Fantastic pass at the end to get second overall.
Yeah, you know, I had 2 really bad starts, and then also in the first moto I lost my seat at the 3rd lap, so it was difficult. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good weekend, and I had feel the red plate and keep going like this, and yeah, see you in Russia.
Good job, thank you. Third overall today we have Thibaut Beneston. Thibaut, I guess slightly disappointed, even though you've got a podium in front of home fans. Just missed out on that win, couldn't hold off Alberto there.
Yeah, I'm so happy. It's my first podium in EMX250, and I take 2 nice starts, and after I have a nice speed, and but Alberto passed me in the last lap for the victory. But I'm so happy, and thanks to all my support and my family.
Thank you.
Third overall for Thibaut Beneston, the Yamaha Europe MJC rider. Moving up to 250 after winning the 125 European Championship last year. Third and a fourth, good solid performance. His best result of the season, his first 250 podium, of course. Second overall, though, was Alberto Ferrata, the championship leader for Maddie Racing Husqvarna. really dug in deep. And that pass on Beniston on the final lap gave him second overall and put Beniston into third. Of course, what that meant was it handed this guy the overall win. Your winner from race 1 yesterday, Stefan Rivini. He had to fight hard after hitting the gate in race 2. He got back to 6th. He took his third podium of the year, his first win in 250, his first European Championship win since Italy 2016, where he won 4 rounds, 3 of those were in a row. And the Honda Red Motor Asamoto rider wins here at home in France. Well, this is all we have time for here for the European 250 riders. We'll be back in about 50 minutes' time for MX2 Race 1. And just in case, they've decided to do a makeshift repair on that Matty race in Husqvarna for Alberto Ferrata. Didn't want any more little surprises. Anyway, we'll see you in about 50 minutes' time for MX2 Race 1.